19.4 stem and leaf diagrams. So you should have heard of these before, you should have seen them and done them before, but we're going to do a recap and then we're going to extend it onto they're called back-to-back stem and leaf diagrams, and then we're going to do some averages. Spell that wrong. Averages from stem and leaf diagrams, and that's so the questions you're going to get are either drawing them, reading off them, getting the averages, that sort of thing. Okay, so let's get into it. So single stem and leaf. This is the ones we should have seen before, but I'm going to explain what to do. You're going to get a set of data, like we have here, and you need to identify the biggest number, which is here, and the smallest number, just here. So that's what our range is. So it ranges from 8 to 41. So we're going to start off with 8 as our lowest, and we're going to go up to 41. And what you do is you create what's called a stem. And here we're going to go from, it's like 0, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm just going to explain it slightly more in a moment. I'll tell you now. The stem is like the tens part. So 41, we have 4, 1 becomes 41. 0, 8 becomes our 8. Okay? So we split it into the tens and units. The 8 doesn't have tens, but we just put 0 there. Okay, and then we would fill in all the numbers. But there's a few things we need to remember to do. We need to make sure when we put numbers in, they're going to end up in nice, neat lines like this, and neat columns. Okay, so give yourself lots of room. We don't draw those lines in sideways and down though. We only draw this one line here. Okay, so just make sure, if you're using squared paper, it should be easy, putting one in each square. The other thing we do is we have to do it in order. So for the tens, we only have the 8, so it's okay. Let's do, sorry, for the units, we only have 8. For tens, we actually don't have any, so we leave it blank. For 20s, we have 21. Then we have 28 here. Do we have any more? Nope, then we just have 28. I'm going to cross them off as I go to make it easy for myself. In the 30s, we have 32, I think is the lowest. Yep, 32. 35. 36. 37. And 39. So you see here, these are all lining up nice and neatly. That's the important thing. If you missed one, so if I had missed out, let's say there was another 6, and I missed it out, you can't just squeeze it in here, because you wouldn't get your nice neat lines now. So if you miss one, you just have to rub it out, rub all these ones out, and do it again properly, okay? You can't squeeze them in. And then we'll finish off 40, 41, okay? So that's our stem and leaf diagram here. So the few things you have to remember, make sure the columns and the rows are nice and neat and are actually in columns and rows. Make sure you've gone in ascending order. That means getting bigger as you go. And the last thing you need to do is you need to put a key in. So this is weight, in kilograms. So what we have to do is we choose any number. Choose any number. I'm going to choose, I don't know, this one. And you write down what it means. So I write 2, line 1. And I'd say this equals 21 kilograms. Okay? So the 3 things, really, that you need to know. Ascending order. Neat columns and rows. And a key. As long as you do all those 3 things, you should be fine. So let's have a look at the back-to-back one now. It's the same sort of thing. Say we have temperature in the north and temperature in the south. Let's have a look. Smallest one, 7. Biggest one, 22. Here the smallest one is 9. And the biggest one's 24. Okay, so let's draw our stem. So we're going to go from 0 again up to 2. So it's just going to be 0. Wait, let me put it more in the middle. 0, 1, 2. Okay, and let's start with the north. So we're going to label this is the north we're doing. And it's just the same as what we did before. So 0, 7, 0, 9, 1, 2, 1, 5. So sometimes if you're running out of space and stuff, you're gonna have to start again. I'm gonna make mine a little bit more cramped up because I don't have a lot of space on here. So 0, 7, 0, 9. Because like I said, it's important to keep those columns. So 12, 15, 15, 17, 19. You see I've missed out an 8. So instead of trying to squeeze it in, I'm going to rub this out. Put my 8 in here. My 9 goes there now. And the last one, 22. Okay, so we've done the north. We've put them in nice columns, put it in ascending order. Let's just see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces of data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, so we've finished that. Last thing to do would be the key, but I'm going to hold off on that because we're doing a back-to-back. What you do is you put a line here, and we're going to put the south over here. It's just the same thing, but sort of flipped. So it's still going to be in ascending order. I'll just show you how to do it. So 9, then we have 10, so 1, 0, then 11, 1, 1, then 14, then 17 and 17, then 19, 21 and 24. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's all the bits of data. So that's all a back-to-back stem and leaf is. They're just joined up back-to-back. And here we go up the numbers this way. Here we're going up the numbers this way. Okay. And the last thing is the key. When you do a key for the back-to-back, you have to include both sides. So I'm just going to do the first number, because why not? So you do see this is both sides here. This is like I've taken this snapshot here. And this equals 9 degrees C for north and 7 degrees C for the south. So when you do the key, you've got to be really specific about what you're talking about. You include the unit, so I'm saying it's 9 degrees for which part, and then 7 degrees. Oh, I've done that wrong. So 9 degrees for the south. So just be careful. Make sure to check your work. So 9 degrees for the south, 7 degrees for the north. Because the 7's on the north side, 9's on the south. Sorry about that, just make sure to check your work. Everyone makes mistakes. So the last part is averages and range. So here we have, here we have a back-to-back stem and leaf diagram. And we're going to work out all the averages, all the ranges. Notice how nice neat columns, nice neat rows, like I've been saying the whole way through. We have our key at the bottom, and we have ascending order both ways. So averages, we have 3 averages: the mode, the median, and the mean. And then we're also going to do the range. So these should be quite easy, some of them are a little bit more tricky, but the mode should be quite easy because when you have numbers that are the same, they're actually right next to each other. So we can see there's 2 2s here. No other ones are copied. So what's the mode for A? So mode, it's not 2 because we've got to look what our key says. It's 102 seconds. I'm not going to write seconds in. It's 102 seconds. Put an S. Okay. And the mode for B, again, you can see it, they're right next to each other. So it's 112 seconds. Oops. And next, median. So median is a bit harder. We have to count how many are in the data set and then get the one halfway along, remember? So let's just count. Sorry about this. These are 2s. These are also 2s. So the median, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 in A. I'll put 13 here so I can remember. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 in B. Okay, so for 13, halfway is the 7th one. The trick you can do is you can add 1 and divide by 2. So 13 add 1 is 14, divide by 2 is 7. So we'll just count 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the median here is also 102. And here, for 16, we're going to add 1, divide by 2, so we get 8.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's this one, but also this one. So it's halfway in between these two. So what we do is we add them together. 109, add 111, and then divide by 2. And we get 110. The median is 110. Let's do the range first, and then we'll do the mean. So for the range, you're just taking the highest and the lowest. So this is super easy on a stem and leaf. You can see this is the highest here. This is the lowest. So we've got 121, take away 81, and we get 40. Here we have 127, take away 89. What does that give us? 38. Okay. And then the last one, the hardest one, well, most complicated one, it's the mean. I'm probably going to take a bit of time working these out, but you can see you can skip forward if you know how to do it. We're just going to add up all the numbers. So we have 81, add 87, add 93, add 94, add 98, add 99, 102, 102, 106, 108, 114, 116, 121. Add them all up. I got 1,321. And then I divide by how many there are, which is 13. And for the mean, I got 101.6. And it goes on, but I'm just going to round to 101.6. On the other side, add them all up. So 89, add 93, add 94, add 97, 104, 105, 108, 109, 111, 112, 112, 115, 117, 123, 125, 127. Add them all up. I got 1,741. Divide by 16. So here I got the mean. It's 108.8. Okay, and that's it. That's all the averages. That's the range. I may have made a mistake there, so I would normally go back and check. You can check that you can get these answers. If you've got something different, you should let me know. So it's just the same as normal averages, but just off a diagram. Just looking now to see if there's any other sort of questions. Yeah, so they might ask you to compare the data. So here we've got mode, median, mean. They're all around 102, just under for the mean. Here mode's 112, median's 110, 108. So they're all about 110 roughly. So you can see that for B, it took longer to do whatever B was. taking a bit more time, only a little bit, but a bit more time. The range, they're both quite similar, but you could say that A is slightly more spread out, but not really. They're both quite similar. Great thing about stem and leaf, I'm just going to rub all this working out. Oops. So you can go back and see, you can rewind if you want to see the answers. Just going to rub these out. The great thing is, it becomes almost like a bar chart, but it still has the numbers in. So when you make a bar chart, you lose the numbers and you can't see what the data was originally. When you do a stem and leaf, you still know exactly what each one was, but you can also sort of see the shape of the bar chart. I'm showing you what I'm talking about in a moment, just try and get this rubbed out. So if you did a bar chart, you would just get blocks. Here we still sort of have, like, if you imagine like a sideways bar chart, because we're keeping them in nice neat columns, we can sort of see this is like this, and you get this sort of bar chart, but we have every single bit of information. That's why stem and leaf is really good. You couldn't do it if you had too much data, because it would take forever. But when there's only a little bit, stem and leaf is probably the best way to go. Okay, so we're going to do questions from page 185. And we're going to do all three of them. So all questions. Oops, all questions. I'll be online, so message if you get stuck. And we'll probably go through this a bit tomorrow as well. So good luck. See you soon.